Regulator setup can also be done by communicating with the regulator with the use of a Graphical User Interface, or GUI. The Marathon Electric DVR Portal GUI is available as a free download from our website. Go to marathonelectric.com, then click on Generators, and under Service and Support, click on DVR Download, then select the DVR20000E Plus portal software. Along the top of the DVR portal software page, there are status indicators providing the current status of the regulator. The Connect/Disconnect button in the upper right-hand corner starts and stops communication with the regulator. The Administration button opens a window that allows you to select the appropriate COM port settings and set passwords. The Login button opens a window that allows you to enter a password if one was established in the Administration window. This window also allows factory personnel to log in as a super user. A super user has access to additional features and parameters that are intended for factory use only. The Load Factory Settings button allows you to restore the original default settings. This will provide a clean point from which to start the setup procedure if other setup procedures have been performed on the regulator. The Save to EEPROM button must be clicked to save settings information to the regulator's non-volatile memory. If the regulator is powered down prior to the settings being saved to EEPROM, the settings will be lost. The Load Config button is used to transfer complete settings files from the computer to the regulator. Click the Save to EEPROM button to save settings information to the regulator's non-volatile memory. The Save Config button is used to transfer complete settings files from the regulator to the computer. Once the settings files are on the user's computer, the file can be viewed or printed as an HTML file. On the metering page of the DVR portal software, voltage, current, and power information present at the generator output terminals is displayed in the Generator tab. The DVR portal software uses PT and CT information supplied by the user to determine these values. When the Regulator tab is selected, voltage, current, and power information at the regulator sensing terminals is displayed. Metered and calculated generator output values not dependent on PT and CT ratio information are displayed in the center box of this page. The Current tab of the Alarms and Faults display area shows the current status of the alarms and faults. If the regulator is powered down during a fault condition, that fault is displayed in the History tab of the Alarms and Faults display area. The Configuration page is where the regulator is set up through the DVR portal software. The Operating Modes tab of this page is where you can select the appropriate regulation mode, single or three-phase current sensing, excitation on or off, and generator frame size. In the Set Points tab of the Configuration page, you can enter values for regulation set point, maximum voltage adjust, under frequency knee, under frequency slope multiplier, droop, auxiliary input scale factor, and PT and CT ratios. Permissible value ranges are displayed in parentheses next to the corresponding field. The Auxiliary Input Type area allows you to select how you intend to use the auxiliary input, as a control, as a metered quantity, or it can be turned off. If you decide to use this input as a metered quantity, Enter a value in the auxiliary input scale factor field to properly scale this quantity. The 4 boxes near the bottom of this tab define the effect that each of the 4 offset types is having on the total set point. For example, if you have configured the auxiliary input for control, in control mode the auxiliary input will accept a plus or minus 3.0 VDC. This input corresponds to a plus or minus 30% offset to the set point. If you programmed the regulator for 480 volts and applied a plus 0.1 VDC signal to the auxiliary input, the regulator will regulate the generator output to a voltage of 484.8 volts. 480 volts plus 4.8 volts, or 1% of 480 volts, equals 484.8 volts. By looking at this screen, you can see what portion of the generator output is being determined by the set point and what portion is being determined by the offset. The total set point field represents the set point plus the influence of any of the enabled offsets. If desired, you can customize the timer and threshold values of many of the protection settings in the Protection Settings tab of the configuration page. We recommend that these settings be changed only if the factory default settings result in undesirable system behavior. Permissible value ranges are displayed in parentheses next to the corresponding field. The CAN bus configuration tab of the configuration page allows you to configure device addresses, priorities, and message timeout periods. The identification page features 4 non-editable fields: serial number, software version, settings version, and Modbus address. This page also includes 2 editable fields: Custom Tag 1 and Custom Tag 2. These fields are intended for your discretion. You may choose to input application information such as where the regulator is to be installed, the voltage, frequency, and frame size the regulator is programmed for, or who programmed it. Remember, complete details regarding all of the information discussed in this presentation can be found in the Installation, Operation, and Maintenance Manual GPN 046. On behalf of everyone at Marathon Electric, thank you for your attention, and thank you for choosing Marathon Electric.